From Wish TV and the All Indiana Podcast Network, this is the News 8 Daily 8 Podcast with Wish TV's Kylie Conway. A Wish TV News 8 update.
Hi, this is Kylie Conway, and this is your News 8 Daily 8 for Tuesday, February 1st. Once again, I have meteorologist Marcus Bailey joining me in the podcast studio for the All Indiana Podcast Network. Marcus, we have a winter storm system headed our way, starting with rain on what is a very mild Tuesday.
Right, and I mean, we could get 50 degrees here as we head into your Tuesday afternoon, but then things get real kind of iffy here starting Tuesday night. It starts as rain. Could be rain for a while, at least specifically in Indianapolis through Wednesday morning, but it gradually goes downhill from there as temperatures get colder. We anticipate at some point as we get into the afternoon that we're going to get a transition from rain to sleet to freezing rain to eventually snow, and then it is all snow Wednesday night heading into Thursday. Around the city, and kind of depending where you're at, I'm going a big range, 5 to maybe as high as 12 inches of snow, higher to the north, lower to the south. And again, this is kind of our initial forecast, and because we're kind of on that line of a wintry mix, those numbers could change and fluctuate a little bit, but I think the bottom line is travel's going to be difficult Wednesday evening, Thursday morning, and again, Thursday evening as well.
And for parts of the viewing area, tomorrow morning could be rough, depending on the temperatures and what's happening.
If you're watching us or listening to us up in northern Indiana, it's all snow all the time, and you could be talking over 15 inches of snow. And that's both for Wednesday and Thursday. And so, yes, Wednesday morning through Thursday afternoon certainly could be difficult in the northern third of the state.
So today is great. Get out, get prepared, get all the things you need. Tomorrow, for most of us here in the metro area, it won't be too bad. It's just going to be kind of gross outside.
Yes.
And then it really changes as the temperatures drop.
That's correct, yes.
Got it. All right, Marcus, I want you to hang out with me because there was another big breaking news story this morning that I feel like you're going to have some input in.
Oh, boy.
I don't know if you've heard this or not, but Tom Brady is retiring.
Who's that?
So we were speculating the last few days about whether he really was, because obviously the reports came out saying he was retiring. Then he says, whoa, I haven't made up my mind yet. So what do you think?
You know, as much as I want to dislike the guy because he was such a pain in a backside of a Colts fan for so many years, 22 now, basically. But you got to give the tip of the cap to the guy. I mean, he's accomplished what no one else in football or many sports, in team sports specifically, has done. He's incredible. You know, I'd love to say I think he's awful and he's not as good as what people say, but I just can't. He's proven otherwise, and so what a great career. But I am super happy that not only Tom Brady, but Ben Roethlisberger both are retiring the same year. Because if I think of two quarterbacks that were a pain in the Colts' backsides for many years, it was those two guys. So good riddance.
And two guys with very different reputations, right? Okay, so with Tom Brady, he finally did go on Instagram. And I understand why he wanted to be the one to make this announcement. Don't try to undercut me and report something that you've confirmed without talking to me after this storied career of 22 seasons. He's a smart player, and he clearly knows when the time has come. But Marcus, thank you for your input. I'll get back into his Instagram quote. He says, I've always believed the sport of football is an all-in proposition of a 100% competitive commitment. Isn't there, you won't succeed, and success is what I love so much about our game. There is a physical, mental, and emotional challenge every single day, and has allowed me to maximize my highest potential, and I have tried my very best this past 22 years. There are no shortcuts to success on the field or in life. This is difficult for me to write, but here it goes. I am not going to make the competitive commitment anymore. I have loved my NFL career, and now it is time to focus my time and energy on other things that require my attention. So I think that's beautifully written, and also it's kind of, you know, when you end a TV series on a high note, instead of waiting until nobody's watching anymore.
Right. I mean, he was competitive until the very end. I mean, if I was him, I probably would have just walked away after a championship. But, I mean,
which would have also been a good way to go out.
But, I mean, even if he would have played till he's 50 and not being very good, what else does that man have to prove on the football field?
7 Super Bowls.
Right.
He's decorated. He's married to Giselle.
I was gonna say, and he's not even the breadwinner in his family.
I know. He does thank her quite a bit in the statement as well. It's really long. What I just read was just a tiny little portion. But best wishes to Tom Brady and all of his success. I know he'll continue to have. Who's going to endorse him now?
Everybody.
All right, Marcus, thank you.
Yep.
Okay, so let's talk about how you can prepare for the winter storm, now that we have all this breaking news out of the way. The National Weather Service says 4 main ways: prepare your home, get your groceries, everything you need in case you can't leave your house, prepare your vehicle, check the antifreeze levels, have safety kit and cold weather gear in there, and have a backup plan for communication with your family and loved ones. Also, stay close to Wish TV and wishtv.com. Our Storm Track 8 meteorologists are hard at work around the clock right now, making sure you can stay ahead of this storm. Also, Mayor Joe Hogsett will hold a press conference ahead of the storm. He'll be joined by representatives from the National Weather Service, IMPD, and DPW, who will talk about the severe weather. It begins at 2 this afternoon at the DPW Operations Center. We'll stream the conference live on wishtv.com. Indigo is asking riders to plan ahead, too. The public transit expects the storm to cause severe impacts on routes from tomorrow through Friday. Officials ask you to monitor your routes and pad your commute with extra time as delays are likely. Indigo also says that buses may have a difficult time getting to some neighborhoods and side streets, so you may have to use a different stop. 3 women avoided serious injuries in a crash involving 3 vehicles on the near north side of Indianapolis. It happened around 1 this morning on Fall Creek Parkway near College Avenue. First responders on the scene tell us one driver tried to cut off another, then a third vehicle was stuck in that aftermath. Rescue crews pulled one of the drivers from a car that had flipped and landed upside down. Medics took her to the hospital. And police are trying to solve a Northeast Side killing. The shooting happened just before 7:30 last night on Shady Lane near 42nd Street and Arlington Avenue. IMPD has not released the name of the victim or what may have led up to the shooting. Officials say this marks the 18th homicide of the year. Last year, police reported 24 homicides in January. Anyone with information is asked to call Crime Stoppers at 317-262-TIPS. And a murder suspect is under arrest this morning. Authorities accuse Andre Johnson of shooting and killing a man at the Carriage House East Apartments on the Northeast Side. Police say they found the victim Sunday night. IMPD says officers arrested Johnson near 10th and Sherman, about 10 miles away from the apartment complex. Police have not released details about the victim or the suspect's motive. And IMPD hosted the first of a series of town halls last night to get feedback on crime. News 8's Cody Adams attended the virtual meeting where officials say they hope the series will be a give and take with the community.
After Indianapolis experienced a record year in homicides in 2021, Mayor Hogsett and IMPD are working on ways to bring those numbers down.
We believe a more community-based approach best serves the cause of public safety. Said somewhat differently, no one knows the neighborhood of our community better than the neighbors themselves.
One of the ways they hope to do that is through town hall meetings.
We're truly hoping that this is a give and take, that you will tell us your concerns, what are the things we're doing right, what are the things you'd like to see us improve in, and tell us about what you hope to see happening in your district. The goal of these is to make sure that we're on track and that we're hearing from the community as to what your concerns are.
It's a way for the department to hear directly from the community it serves in hopes of improving things.
We want to be approachable. We want you to come up and have conversations with us and talk to us about things. And listen, we don't know everything. We're open for suggestions. We're open for your comments. We may not always agree on everything, but we want those conversations.
Those who live in the Southeast District say it's a start.
I think it's always good to know what the people you're serving think about your work, and, you know, our tax dollars pay them. So, yeah, it's definitely a good thing.
Others in the community hope to see the recommendations put into action.
I would hope so. Otherwise, what would be the point of doing it? If you have no intention of it being helpful, why would you do it, right?
Cody Adams, Wish TV, wishtv.com, and follow us on Facebook.
Conversations about redistricting in Marion County moved to Decatur Township tonight. That's the latest township to host a Your Voice 2022 forum, where the city council is asking for input about priorities for future city council districts. Tonight's forum starts at 5:30 at the Decatur Township School for Excellence on High School Road. Tomorrow, Northwest Middle School in Fort Wayne Township hosts a forum. Each one is free and open to everyone living in Marion County. Indiana lawmakers are looking at putting new rules in place for absentee voters. The House signed off on a measure that would put new changes in place for ballots. News 8's Garrett Berquist explains what the law could mean for future elections.
This bill makes 2 key changes to the state's voting laws. First off, it moves up the deadline for all electronic voting machines to have a verifiable paper trail. The deadline now would be July 1st of 2024. Originally, it would have been the end of this decade. The second change is that in order to apply for an absentee ballot, you would have to provide either your driver license number or the last 4 digits of your social security number. This would be to verify your identity. That led to plenty of debate on the House floor as to whether or not this bill makes it harder to vote.
This bill ensures that those requesting absentee ballots and completing them are actually who they say they are. This bill encourages people to vote in person with the state ID as much as possible by taking advantage of the 28-day early voting period.
The only requirement that a person should have to vote absentee is that they're registered to vote. There shouldn't be any other requirements. That is a part of our Constitution. That is something that makes our country great.
So the bill now heads over to the Senate. It's worth noting today was the last day for the House to approve its own bills coming out of that chamber. At the State House, Garrett Bergquist, Wish TV, wishtv.com, and follow us on Facebook.
2,694 people in Indiana are hospitalized with COVID-19. That's according to the latest numbers from the State Department of Health. According to ISDH, the last time the number of hospitalizations in the state was fewer than 2,700 was on December 6th. Right now, 14.6% of ICU beds in the state are open for new patients. That's up from 11.6% that was available on Friday. And according to Johns Hopkins University, positive cases of COVID-19 are down 30% across the country compared to a week ago. The Department of Health and Human Services says hospitalizations are also down 11%. Some health experts are now questioning if guidance on mask wearing and social distancing should be changed. In Colorado, state public health officials got rid of the requirement for people to show proof of vaccination when going to large indoor events in several communities. And starting today, mask mandates are also lifted in San Francisco offices and gyms for people who are vaccinated.
Certainly share the optimism that we're in a better place now, and we will be in a better place in a few weeks. But I don't think that means that we should take our foot off the accelerator.
It all comes as the FDA granted full approval to Moderna's COVID-19 vaccine yesterday. It joins Pfizer, which was granted approval last August. They're the only two COVID vaccines with that distinction. And young kids may be able to get the Pfizer COVID-19 vaccine sooner than expected. U.S. regulators are asking the drug maker to apply for emergency use authorization for children under 5 years old. The Associated Press is citing a person familiar with the developments. The two-dose regimen would cover children as young as 6 months old. The shots would be about 1/10 of the strength of the adult version. That application could come as early as today. President Biden is set to meet with the Senate Judiciary Committee. The plan is for them to discuss the vacant seat on the Supreme Court after Justice Stephen Breyer retires. Breyer announced his plan to step down from the bench last week. According to the panel's chair, the committee says it plans to move quickly on President Biden's nomination to the position. A new study from Purdue University claims children who attend On My Way Pre-K are outperforming their peers. The program grants money to children from low-income families so they can go to pre-K. Researchers from the university followed more than 370 children in the program. According to the study, students in On My Way Pre-K were able to read, speak, and identify shapes, colors, and numbers better than other children. They also performed better on iLearn tests than children in grades 3 and 4 who did not attend the program. State leaders say more than 15,000 children in the state have been awarded grants to the program since 2015. Today, there is a push for change. The Alzheimer's Association of Greater Indiana wants new legislation to better help patients. The association is made up of volunteers who are pushing for 3 legislative priorities. This morning, the association plans to contact state lawmakers during its annual virtual day of action. Senate Bill 353 would require basic dementia training standards for home health aides. The Alzheimer's Association says this will provide quality patient-centered care with more people choosing in-home care. The group will also push for House Bill 1087 to create a dementia coordinator role in state government, as well as House Bill 1123 and Senate Bill 112, which would add Alzheimer's expertise to Indiana's Medicaid Advisory Committee. According to the Alzheimer's Association of Greater Indiana, about 110,000 Hoosiers are currently living with Alzheimer's, and another 215,000 people are serving as unpaid family caregivers. The group says the cost of serving patients on the Medicaid program reached $1.1 billion in 2020, and that number is expected to increase more than 17% by 2025.
Tuesday morning is the opportunity for advocates around the state to really come together, again, kind of hear from each other. There's going to be an opportunity to hear some advocate stories, right, to talk about their family members and why they're advocating on behalf of policies that support individuals living with Alzheimer's and dementia. They're going to hear from some legislators about things going on this session.
The Alzheimer's Association says registration for the virtual day of action is still open. At least 250 people are taking part statewide. You do not have to have prior advocacy experience to join. From Russia, the U.S. receives a written response over the ongoing tension with Ukraine. It came ahead of today's planned phone call between Secretary of State Antony Blinken and his Russian counterpart. The contents of the letter have not been revealed. Leaders have not said if it was delivered before or after yesterday's standoff at the United Nations. The U.S. ambassador says America is bound by the UN Charter to help protect Ukraine. The Russian ambassador calls it a classic example of megaphone diplomacy.
We are being asked to convene a Security Council meeting on unfounded accusations that we have refuted frequently.
This is not about antics. It's not about rhetoric. It's not about U.S. and Russia. What this is about is the peace and security of one of our member states.
A spokesperson for the State Department says the U.S. remains committed to a dialogue to resolve the issues. Tickets for this year's 35th Zoobilation sold out within a half hour. The Black Tie Affair at the Indianapolis Zoo is the zoo's largest fundraiser of the year. This year's theme is Rockin' with the Roos. Tickets went on sale this morning at 9 and were sold out by 9:30. Carla Knapp is a spokesperson for the zoo. She joined us on Daybreak this morning and says while the theme changes each year, the fun and flair that make it so special will definitely be back.
Some of the hottest restaurants, most popular, and certainly delicious dishes that they are serving up for all of our guests all night long. We, of course, have amazing drinks as well, live entertainment throughout the whole zoo.
2022 Zoobilation is Friday, June 10th. And spots are still open for local spring break and summer camps at the Indianapolis Zoo. Camps are for kids 5 to 14. There are single day and multiple day camps featuring special tours, crafts, and animal visits. The first camps begin at the end of March. You can find out how to sign up through our website. Just go to wishtv.com and click on this story in the As Seen on Wish TV section. This has been your News 8 Daily 8 for Wish TV. I'm Kylie Conway. Online at wishtv.com and follow us on Facebook when you search Wish TV.
This is the News 8 Daily 8 podcast with Wish TV's Kylie Conway. A Wish TV News 8 update on demand for even more on demand and on the go. Connect with Wish TV on Facebook at wishtv.com and on the free Wish TV mobile app. Thank you for listening. And be sure to like, subscribe, and follow this podcast for updates every weekday morning on the All Indiana Podcast Network and wherever you get your podcast.